If you've never driven on the left side of the road and you're about to go to a country that drives on the left side of the road, then this is the video you should watch to help you prepare. The first time I went to Ireland, I had no idea how to drive on the left side of the road. I had to waste a bunch of my time going through tons of websites and videos to figure out how to drive on the left side of the road. So when I got back from Ireland, I decided to put this video together, which will streamline and consolidate all the stuff that I learned into one blueprint so that you don't have to waste your time like I did. You can go follow my directions and learn how to drive confidently on the left side of the road before you even leave your country of origin. So this is what you should do. I'm just going to go through it step by step. If I'm looking down at this sheet of paper, it's nothing personal. It's just I'm trying to make a very practical video. All right, so phase one, go to YouTube. Find the channel called J Utah. Find the playlist called Location by Country Ireland or Location by Country England. They probably have Location by Country Australia or South Africa if those are the countries you're going to also. But anyway, go to those. Then I want you to watch the videos in these playlists to get a feeling of what it's like to drive on the left side of the road in these countries. A few times before I left the United States, I even sat in the passenger side of my car, put the cell phone up on my dashboard, and pretended to be driving while watching these videos. So you just get a feel of what it would be like, and you're sitting on the passenger side so that you're pretending to be on the side you'll actually be steering the wheel on. Do this for a day or two. Then go to phase two. This is phase two. Go back to YouTube. Find the channel called Conquer Driving. This channel teaches new drivers in England how to pass the road portion of the driver's license test. I found the following playlists to be especially helpful: positioning, junctions and roundabouts, judging distance, night driving, joining motorway, and beginners. Then on a different channel called Driver Training Ltd. Limited, I also found one particular video to be extremely helpful. This video is called Driving Lessons, Traffic Lights, Filter Lights, Turning Left and Right. Trust me, you'll be glad I told you to watch this video. Trust me. Unless you want to make yourself out to be a total fool when you go over there and have a lot of people honking at you. Going through all the videos that I suggested at Conquer Driving, everything that I'm telling you to do, trust me, you need to do. But this one particular video is spot on, especially for Americans and Canadians. All right, now we go to phase three. Phase three, go to YouTube again and find the channel called Dane Tyge. So Dane is D-A-N-E and Tyge is T-Y-G-H-E. Dane Tyge. Go to the playlist called Theory, Signs, Hand Signals. Then watch the videos called Road Markings, Driving Lesson, and Road Signs Ireland, a complete guide. These videos will probably be tedious to watch, and you'll be tempted to skip through it. I forget this. I mean, how many signs? You'll be like, oh my gosh. Well, don't skip through them. If you have to, sleep and then wake up in the morning when you're fresh, and you won't resent it as much. But go through. I would suggest the road markings are very important. You see a bunch of zigzaggy lines, and you're going to be like, "What's going on? Is that like electricity?" No, it's not. It means that there's going to be pedestrians crossing. You see what I mean? So watching these two videos are very tedious and boring. You'll be tempted to skip through it, but I highly suggest that you don't, and spend some time studying all these street signs so that you'll know what you're doing, and you'll drive like a pro, like a native, and you'll be confident when you get over there. Now, a couple of my own personal experiences that will probably help you. When I started to drive over there, even though I was sitting on the right side of the car, my brain kept telling me that the rest of my car was still over to my right, not to my left. My brain was imagining that I was actually sitting in a car designed for driving on the right side of the road, not a car designed for driving on the left side of the road. So even though the middle of the road, my lane, I'm close to the middle of the road, but my brain kept on telling me that the rest of my car was over here. It's like a ghost limb. Have you ever heard of when you cut off a limb and people still imagine that they have the arm? Well, I call it the ghost limb side of the car. So when you get over there and you start driving, remind yourself of this psychological phenomenon that could hurt you. And really where it gets you is when you're trying to park on the side of the road. You think that you kind of forget that you got the left side of the car going on. Your brain's telling you the right side is there, even though it's not. And then you pow, and you hit the side, you hit the curb, and you're like, man, how'd I do that? That's because you're not used to the big chunk of metal is all over here on this side of you. Next thing is for Americans, North Americans, Canadians, and people from the United States, we're used to those traffic lights up above our heads. They don't use that stuff over there very often. Almost everything is on the right and the left. So be careful not to blow right through an intersection and get yourself killed because you're not focused on the traffic lights to your right and to your left on the sides of the road. You're used to seeing them up there. So keep that in mind, be alert, and then eventually after a few days you'll get used to it and it won't bother you as much. But at first, I put on some brakes. I was like, oh my gosh. I learned, and I don't want you to learn the hard way. Learn through me. The other thing is when you're coming up to roundabouts, some of them do, but a lot of them don't have the big yield signs. They've got, some blue arrow, they're white arrows surrounded by blue. They're like blue and white signs. And we're not, North Americans aren't used to that. Not too many of those around. And there's not a big yield or anything like that. So you can come up to that roundabout and almost blow through it if you're not really careful and paying attention. A lot of times you're just focused on staying in the right lane and not driving off into the woods. And then suddenly you're up there at the roundabout and traffic's coming on and you're like, oh my gosh. So that's the other thing, when you see any signs for roundabouts coming up, just slow down and be cool because there may not be a big yield sign warning you. All right, so that's it. I hope that I can help people like me avoid a lot of anxiety before they go and drive on the left for the first time. And be successful, and it'll be a whole lot more fun when you get there. You'll know what you're doing. Nothing will be a mystery. And have fun. All right, bye.